Hey guys, it's Lane here, and I figured since I just saw Rogue One just yesterday, I would do a reaction about that movie. Now, for starters, I'm just gonna say, spoiler alert, I'll probably be talking about a lot of stuff that happened in the movie. So this is a reaction video after all. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this yet unless you just don't care. Whatever you want to do. If you want to keep watching, feel free. I'm fine with that, obviously. But don't be mad at me for spoiling anything, because I'm telling you now, I might spoil some things. Got it? Good. Okay. What to say? I really did like this movie. Rogue One was great. Was it my favorite Star Wars movie? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Like there are aspects to it that were great, that I loved, that it did probably better than any other Star Wars movie. But there were aspects about it that were lacking too. You know, it had its strengths and it had its weaknesses. Like, for example, I really love the fact that it was about the military part of Star Wars, actually exploring the world of it without going into all the Force, Jedi, the Skywalker family, into that stuff, because I honestly don't care about any of the Skywalkers that much at all. I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about them that much at all. Luke's pretty bland. Anakin was very bland. Vader's awesome, but I don't know if it really counts at that point. As far as we know, Luke doesn't have any kids. So I guess it's to the EU for that one. Yeah. Well, anyway, just the military aspect of it. I like that it was a sci-fi military movie, and it worked so well as that. It really did. That aspect of it was great. Downside though, the characters. We get to know Jyn a little bit. We get to know her father a little bit. Get to know Cassian a tiny bit. And I guess we kind of get to know the droid, although I don't know if he's just K or K something. I don't remember that. Yeah. Those four we get to learn a little bit. They have some personality to them. Along with, of course, Vader, Tarkin, and a few of the other established people. But of that, people that are only in Rogue One, those are the only four that actually really get to know all that well. Well, I guess the blind guy you get to know kind of well. But I don't even remember his name, and that says a lot, I think. What to say? Yeah, the characters were not very fleshed out at all. Jyn, honestly, was just bold female lead. That was her thing. She was no different than, for example, Katniss. She wasn't any different, honestly, from Leia. Or at least not, she didn't stand out in any way, that is, as a character. Cassian, we don't get to know any of his backstory. We don't know why he does what he does. We just know that something bad happened in his past, but we don't learn anything about it. And yeah, that doesn't really matter as far as the story goes, but we don't get to know him. We don't know why we should care about him. And that works for all of them. So if I had to say it, the first half of the movie was okay. It was not bad, but it was, at best, just an average. Second half of the movie, though, fantastic. Especially the ending. I don't know about you, but I got chills. Legit chills when Vader came on. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch that just for that scene alone. When Vader... Oh, that gave me chills. That scene bumps up that movie, the whole movie, just so much. Vader is actually a terrifying, menacing force of evil, and it's so great. Also, besides the characters, some of the CGI did not work well. Like, I'm not talking about the aliens or any of the space action, stuff like that. It was on par with Force Awakens for that. It did a good job, I think. My main problem was with specifically Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin. The actor died a few years back, I think back in the 90s. So they had to literally replace his face with CGI. And it just did not hold up whenever he was with someone. It did not look like a human face. It looked CGI. And it was just so noticeable. It really took you out of the movie. I don't know what else I have to say, honestly. They had a few Easter eggs in there, like the pair of people from Mos Eisley. There was some funny things, like not even intentionally funny. Well, the droid was intentionally funny. He was pretty funny throughout the movie. He did good. But some unintentionally funny stuff is just on what I assume was Mustafar. They show Vader's like secret castle, I guess you'd call it, where Krenel goes to Vader, and it looks like Mordor. It really looks like Mordor. Vader's castle, or whatever they're going to call it eventually, looked like Soren's tower. And it was so Lord of the Rings. Which in my mind literally translated to the Fellowship of the Death Star plans. That's the movie. And of course there was that one rebel who died in the best way possible. They start talking about what they need to do. They need to like flip the switch. Then he's like, let's do it, runs out and just gets shot immediately, and it was the best thing ever. I feel so bad for that guy, but that was great. So, okay. I'm one of the people that did not hate the prequels. I don't think they were, at least the first two were good. They were not good, especially at parts, but they weren't bad by any means. They were bad by Star Wars standards. First two, Episode 1 and Episode 2. But as far as movies in general, I don't think they were bad movies. Just needed less Hayden Christensen. Revenge of the Sith is actually one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Of the first 6, that one might actually be my favorite. Force Awakens topped it. I love Force Awakens. It's not my favorite movie, but it's pretty high. I love that movie. So, does Rogue One top that? No. It's not as good as Force Awakens. But just a blow by a hair. As simple as Force Awakens was, as much as it was just establishing the new trilogy of movies, a new age in Star Wars, it did most everything flawlessly. The only thing I could really be mad at that movie about was just how closely it followed A New Hope, and how Kylo Ren kind of got spiraled out of control as the movie progressed. That was really the only things I can think of it. Rogue One had a lot more noticeable flaws, and not as, well, besides the Vader scene, no noticeable highs to compare to Force Awakens. You know? But even that, just the premise of it being a space war about the two sides, the Empire and the Rebellion. I like that a lot more than just the hero's journey in space that Force Awakens and A New Hope were. But the flaws in the movie weren't able to overcome the great premise. So I think Rogue One is just a hair below Force Awakens in my opinion. Force Awakens will, for now at least, continue to be my favorite of the Star Wars movies. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.